Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have another amazing message for you for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames. Some really cool stuff came through again today. Please forgive my appearance. I just got back from a jog. And I'm going to get right into it. It is April 2nd, 2019, the two of the High Priestess. So very much about your intuitive abilities, your psychic abilities, and being quiet and secretive. And the day adds up to the 18. Which is some of the same, very feminine, secretive energies. So let's see what that brings up today. And just right off the top, I want you to know there were 3 kings in the read, so everything that has to do with 3 kings will also come up. So to know that ahead of time, and also it's my nephew Max's birthday. Happy birthday, Max! And he's 16 today, so that's a big one. So to celebrate our children every day of the year. Something else came up about that too. It'll come up in the read. So much today. I forgot to bring up yesterday the wound, because I told you I got, not yesterday but the night prior to that, I had a bit of a purge, and it was coming up. The wound had to do with the dynamic between the masculine and the feminine, typical relationship after a while where the feminine is considered the tease and the masculine is considered the taker. Like, so all you do is take, 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 you know, especially once a woman becomes a mother and she's really, you know, enveloped in taking care of the children, and the husband wants sex, or the husband wants this, he wants a meal, and she's busy taking care of the kids all the time and doesn't get how much effort she puts into raising the kids. So, and that happens even before the kids, where in high school, where the boys say, you know, she's a tease, right? And then the girls get insecure because they think that they're supposed to put out, and then if they put out, they're called a slut. All right, so it's like a no-win situation. You know, that the feminine energy teases and the masculine energy takes. And this is not about the man and the woman, because we have masculine and feminine in each of us. So both of these dynamics will affect both of us, or all of us. So see how it applies and how it comes up in the read here. So the read was done at 10:46. The 46 is the 6 of Cups, the children in the garden, and the read actually ended on that card. It was the last card. The card after the read was the Higher Self card, which I will show them to you today. The only major arcana in the main cards of the Sirian Starseed deck was Alchemy, which is alchemizing 2 opposing forces, right? Making them work. The card after the read was that Higher Self, so that's also in play here. And so they're very still Alchemy and Higher Self, Moon and High Priestess. They're all about, you know, that secretive feminine side. And as I was starting the read also, I was getting sour stomach, so there's some nervous energy coming through for the masculine. There were 4 cups, 4 pentacles, 1 wand, and 1 sword. And forgive me if I stop for a minute, I might still be a little bit out of breath from running. So again, 4 cups, 4 pentacles, 1 wand, 1 sword. And the coding and the numbers, all that had to do with spiritual partnership, change, synchronicities, and completion. And like I said, there were 3 kings. The King of Cups came up, the King of Wands, and the King of Swords. The King of Pentacles they were all in the main read, those 3 kings. The King of Pentacles was there in the underlying energy as well, and the King of Pentacles was the only one coming through as upright. But he wasn't good either, and I'm going to tell you why. So the message is about spiritual partnership, synchronicities, completion, and change. All had to do with 3 and 4, shut the door. But the 3 of the 43, which is the 3 of Cups, and mastering that, coming together in joy. 3 Master Flames. Master Flames is the King of Wands, mastering your passions, your flame, your inner flame as a twin flame. And 3 is having joy in mastering that flame. What is your passion? What do you love to do? And then it ended in Ace and 4, which is 14, which is the Temperance card, the angels, and alchemizing opposing forces. And your own forces within, alchemizing yourself, your masculine and feminine, making them work so that they flow. That's the dance back and forth. So the Emperor, the Empress, Master, human containment. Human containment is the human experience, because you are source energy contained in a human body. So human containment is just the human experience. So the Emperor and the Empress, the 3 and the 4, are mastering this human experience. The Empress masters her passions via the patient angel, her masculine, being patient. Okay, also energy coming through here was that 3 of Cups, coming together in joy in the human experience as the abundant King of Wands shaman, magician, embodiment. Empress with the King of Wands angel. Okay, joy in the human experience, joy in mastering your passions as angels, which is all about inspiration and patience. That's the dance. The numbers that came through here were 43, 3, 14. 43 is the 3 of Cups, 3 is the Empress, 14 is the Temperance, and then 1 and 4 also separately were Magician and the Emperor, which is coming up like Magician embodiment. When you have the Magician and the Emperor together, that's the embodiment of your psychic abilities. And they added up to 60. 60 is finding a peaceful place. It's the 6 of Swords. 33, 44, 66 came through. 33 is the Christ vibration. It is that 7 of Wands, standing your ground, standing up for yourself without being defensive. 44 is that mastering of everything. It's mastering, grounding, and integrating. It's mastering not feeling sorry for yourself, and it's mastering not settling. And 66 is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, it's very much about the grounded divine feminine, when she's all well-rounded and has everything that she wants for herself. The 34 also came up. Is that 34? Yeah, 34 is the 8 of Wands, all right, the arrows of love. Heated communication, also expressing your passionate self, your feelings. The 46 of the 6 of Cups, and the 68, which is the Page of Pentacles. So we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. The 18 comes up of the Moon, and then 44, 11 also came up, reiterating 44 and 11 as well, which is Justice. So as we get into the read, it starts out with the King of Cups, which is also unconditional love, with the 4 of Cups beneath it, which is that grounding and integrating. In this deck, you see it's like wishing upon a star, but we're not wishing upon a star. We're just keeping our chin up and mastering and integrating, not settling. Okay, not feeling sorry for ourselves either, right? That's mastering, right? These two together especially. So the King of Cups masters grounding and integrating, and also that's GI. What does your body do to ground and integrate? It digests your food. Some of it goes to your energy, and some of it gets flushed away, right? And some of it goes to your fat, which we talked about was love. It's your storage energy to pass on. When you don't pass on enough energy, like your downloads, when you receive them, you have to put them out. So if you don't put them out, they build up on you as reserves, love reserves. So running away from what is not working, just to deliberate for the masculine, vacillate or make more bad decisions, is like a child offering pure love to a dead horse. So this went in a whole other direction. So it's basically saying, when something's not working for the masculine, and he finally decides after long deliberation that he's going to change something, then he just runs in and adds something else to his workload that's just as bad as what he just left behind. So that's the point. You know, you have that whole stack of wands. When you get to the 10, you're going to drop because you're so burdened by it. Once you drop all those burdens, it's saying, just like I said yesterday or the day before, it's saying don't pick them back up again. Even if they're different ones, it's still the same burden. If you're not in your inspired, true, authentic self and expressing yourself as the embodiment of love. Running away from that which is not working just to deliberate, vacillate, or make more bad decisions is like a child offering pure love to a dead horse. And then I was getting Vietnam. So we haven't brought up Vietnam as one of those wars that we need to clear. What is the point? Or crying over a car that died. Why do you need to cry about, you might have named your car, right? So the girls do this all the time. So you're crying over your car that broke. What are you going to do? It's crying over spilt milk. You can lick it up off the floor if you want to, or you can go to the store and buy more. What's easier? All right, don't send the loving message to the dead horse, but to the one who lost the horse, or the horse that's not dead and left behind. And some of this energy that's coming up now is from history.net, and then I have another site too. The dead horse is free and understands love now on a much higher dimension than you, that you cannot understand. He or she already holds the love that you're offering him. And it's not to say you're being bad for offering your love to a dead animal or human being, but the dead animal or human being no longer needs your love, because they're pure love now. Your love needs to go to those who have been left behind, who are in mourning, or those horses who are left on the battlefield who are not dead and were not cared for, were not mourned for, were not missed, and were not buried. Okay? Who are loving the animals? And Spirit's coming through. It's making me want to cry, okay? So who's loving those animals? For every soldier that died on those old battlefields was a horse that they rode. Okay? Think about that. So as a human, offer your love wisely. It is your greatest gift. And don't give it away so easily. A dead horse and it was funny because Vietnam was coming up here, but it was also coming up a dead horse at Antietam. And it came up because I put in Vietnam. But Antietam is actually in Maryland. And that comes up as Mary Land, okay? And also Dead Horse Bay in New York came up, where they used to process dead horses. And now it's like a graveyard, that bay, that beach there. There's like broken everything there, and there's dead horse pieces still there. It's really sad. So then the Red Horsemen came up. So from the Vietnam War, 554, the Red Horsemen, who arrived at Con Ron Bay in Vietnam on the 30th day of December 1965. They were the civil engineering heavy repair people. At the gate at the Ron Rang in 1966, there was a red horse there at the check station that they stole and took to the base at Cam Ranh. So they were engineers and would build and repair rather than destroy, okay? And there was a letter from their chief, I don't know if it was a sergeant or what position the military boss was, but he was saying a nice letter to them, like, we've been together 7 months and I can't believe how we didn't know each other 7 months ago because we know each other so well. He was like, it was like a really loving pep talk, and saying that we still have 7 more months to go. So 7 months there and then 7 months to go. They worked with Vietnamese craftsmen to build structures there, right? Because they were repairing the planes, but they needed a runway there, right? So from 1966 to 67, they were producing asphalt to build the runways there for the war, so they could repair planes and so they could take off again. So by June 6th, asphalt plant was in operation. And get this is not by 1967, the C123 providers finished that ramp that they were building with this asphalt in how many days? 144 days, okay? And there was really some beautiful information about this group of people, you know, because they were the people trying to fix things, not break them down. But they got a patch with a red horse on it. That's what they were referenced as, the Red Horsemen. So all these were coming together, and obviously it wasn't just about these different things. It was about the horses themselves as well. In 1970, the hangmen 554, the Red Horse Squadron, were then shown with pictures of ancient orange barrels right in front of them and all the dead grass where they were. And that was from angelfire.com. So if you want to check that out, you can. The underlying signs that are coming up in the read, just for the underlying energies, were Libra, Aquarius reversed, Cancer upright and reversed, Sagittarius, Taurus reversed, Aries upright. If I didn't say which direction, I'm not sure which direction they were coming in, but they were both they were present. So all about the war horses, you know, the horses who were left behind, not just the men who were left behind, but the horses who were not dead on the battlefield, but were left to die. In 1970, like I said, was the Hangman 554, and the Ancient Orange came in. And then with the Antietam, that was Battle of Sharpsburg, September 17th, 1862. The Confederate General Robert E. Lee and the Union General George B. McClellan's army, or Potomac, of Antietam Creek, which is in Maryland. And I was being guided to write down separately Mary Land, okay? So this is all about bringing up Mother Mary, and Mary Magdalene comes up in this read as well. And then it comes up with this, this one general wrote a note. He had seen this horse in Civil War on the battlefield that had died like this, in this position, and it was so beautiful that the general had asked a portrait be taken of this horse. All right. So that horse is actually dead, but it was just so beautiful and elegant that the general wanted to, you know, people, you know, to recognize the horses for everything they've done. What makes you think an injured horse doesn't want to live and deserves to die? Because what do we do? What do we do to horses when they get injured? They shoot them. Well, what makes you think a horse can't survive the pain? The humans do. Maybe the horse would like to live. Maybe the horse would like to graze fields with their partners, even if they can't run anymore. Who are we to decide their fate? So the Knight of Wands is riding a horse passionately to get message to others, guided by their angels and guides to the Divine Feminine. So remember about the you know, the Knight of Wands. All of these knights in the card reads are on horses. They're delivering messages. How do you think they got there before we had cars and all that kind of thing? It was always by horses, you know, the animals with wings. Your angels. It was also about the representing the energy of the masculine. You know, the masculine stud, the cowboy. This is who he is innately, that masculine energy, but we all have within. The horse represents the divine masculine spirit, the co-creation, the co-creating justice to repair the damaged, make restitution to your own volition, to make restitution of your own volition to the sealed divine feminine around the world in order to complete their mission. So really the mission for the masculine is to make restitution to his divine feminine of his own volition, not because he's forced to. Michael and Thoth seal her from the bull and lion justice system to give the divine masculine time to complete his creation. The judge must step down around the world. Payoffs come full circle. New, more feminine judges will take their place and step up to the plate for a more balanced system at the last minute, for those of you who are worried about judgments coming through. Emperor watches and goes within openly. Down with structured religion and the fall of patriarchy here, and in with spirituality and dreams fulfilled and synchronicities harmoniously orchestrated. That which radiates is good, not red, but buttercup yellow. Sparkling gold white light. The two coins of the feminine and the masculine child, no longer tainted by misguidance of the church that is not of self-connection and that limits all possibilities. And then at 12:06 I started sweating, and that's, I always get that when the masculine's coming through really strong. And the mailman came in to deliver my mail, which was perfect with this message, right? He's riding in on his horse to deliver my message. He's a male. And then the feminine is there to receive the message. She gets her mail from the mailbox to open the mail. And she loves that, right? And the masculine probably could care less about opening the mail. So the divine masculine is to give, and the divine feminine to receive the messages. Friar Tuck taking orders from a higher up no longer exists. That Y chromosome, as well as future baldness, no longer exists in the DNA to children born now. All right, this is a literal message I got. The children who are being born now no longer have DNA of baldness. It is not in their DNA anymore. Deception came up as the underlying energy, so someone's wearing a false mask in this relationship for the masculine, and underneath that was for him still to let go of control issues. So there's that Sagittarius female drinker who comes up all the time, potion maker, is outed, as well as the King of Cups, or by the King of Cups, protecting his children from rumors, sweets, tweets at the Iron Gate, which may be above their heads. And now I'm going to stop the sentence for a minute and repeat it for you, because as I started with this information, it was going into a whole nother slew of clues for you. These are messages for different people who are looking for treasures or money that's been hidden. So listen very carefully. There's a whole bunch of clues right here. And this Sagittarius female drinker can also be Sag Leo. Okay, could be a double fire person. But she's coming up as a dark karmic who obviously has alcohol problems, or she does mixes potions. She could be into, you know, voodoo or Wiccan, but in a dark way, not in a light way. And she doesn't have to be all dark, but she's doing secretive stuff. This is secretive stuff that's coming up today under the moon and the high priestess. It's 2112, okay? So it's very important. But listen to this. This was amazing information that was coming through, and this is definitely messages for someone so they know where to find something that they don't know where it is, and they need to find it. So the sea jail, ooh, sea jail. That's one of the places I've been guided to go, is jail at high mar, which means high sea, and I just said sea jail, okay? The Sagittarius female drinker, potion maker, is outed, as well as the King of Cups, or that the King of Cups is just protecting his children, and he outed her to protect the children. So whether the mother is an alcoholic or, you know, whatever it is, if there's a divorce, maybe stayed married because he didn't want her to have the kids alone, you know, that kind of thing. But it doesn't have to be. It can be multiple different situations. But he wants to protect his children from rumors, sweets, and tweets at the Iron Gate, because the information is above their heads. It's just 2211. In the trunk of the tree, now listen carefully, the Iron Gate above your heads, in the trunk of the tree, so there could be a trunk and an attic above your heads, the trunk of the tree, there could be something buried next to the tree or inside the tree, buried treasure. And I was guided to write down, instead of the word you and see, you see, I was guided to write U and C. So those initials are important to someone as well. Okay, at the Iron Gate above their heads, in the trunk of the tree, buried treasure you see. Listen, there's more. Inside the trunk, to the left, or in the squirrel hole, look in or look north. Circle, loop, or scroll left. If the trunk is on the desktop, scroll left. The King of Pentacles looks up to detailed molding around the pillars outside or on a deck. A white bird flying by for clues or actual place that the treasure is hidden. So the white bird flying by could be a picture in someone's house. I was also seeing molding around, like really beautiful detailed molding around a pillar, but it could be a literal pillar of the community who is molding at their house. But this is a message here. The King of Pentacles look up to detailed molding around pillars outside or on deck. A white bird flying, so that could be a boat as well. A white bird flying by for clues or actual place that the treasure is hidden. Harp, strings, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words. That was also coming up. So maybe an album that money is hidden in. Birthday candles, cake, a heart music box. Also, you say it's my birthday. No. Well, happy birthday to ya. All right, so that was definitely coming up, and it's my nephew's birthday, so I'm saying happy birthday again, Max. Max may be a clue for someone. You say it's my birthday, maybe a clue for someone, okay? Very important, and I want, you know, for those of you who these clues come through for, please say so in the comment, because that's really fun to know. Purple dress. There may be something hidden in a purple dress. Green curtain, green material, green bedspread, or green wall that is obscured by a harp or one of those folding walls or ornaments. Sword case, portable flambe or a grill. No, he would never look there, is what I was getting there, right? That nobody would look where fire is because money burns, but there may be a compartment underneath the grill, or this flambe or something like that. There's a compartment where there may be not money, maybe something that's valuable though. Or maybe the actual piece there is very valuable to someone. Brown wig, large planter or stone wall attached to the gate. Inside, if hollow, and it opens. Like, don't go breaking apart walls to get in. A bird feeder on top, red cape and gold crown. Crown jewels in safe. So if somebody had passed away and they don't know where to look for something because they never told them, these are some of those clues as well, okay? So the King of Pentacles was chasing someone, okay? So there's a King of Pentacles coming up here who's not the masculine, okay? Masculine's coming up as somebody else. I'm not saying it couldn't be, but it could be. But it's really coming up as a fourth person because he's not in this read. He's in the underlying energy upright, but that's because he's kind of a jerk, but he's being his authentic self. So he's a player, and he's playing around and has a third party, and it could be somebody's parents, right? Where the father has always been like that. The King of Pentacles was chasing a third party someone, and he had planned to give everything to that new girl, right? But now both are gone, and the karmic mother or person is looking for whatever was left, whether it's money or something that's valuable, to give to her son, the Divine Masculine. Or she wants to tell the Divine Masculine about the hidden money or valuables but doesn't know where it is, or someone passed before telling someone where they hid their stuff, okay? So even if this king and the girl are now gone, it doesn't mean they both died. He may have passed and she's just gone. Or they may, if he was hiding it for her, he had to have passed because he's not going to now give it away if he's planning on giving it to her. Or maybe she passed away, so now he is. But there's all sorts of weird situations there. And if it doesn't apply to you, don't make it fit. So going on a treasure hunt. X marks the spot. 3 lines down and a question mark. That may be another clue. With a pinch and a squeeze and a tropical breeze. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. All right, so that could be another clue, as well as Maryland. Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. There may be some sculptures you have that may be hollow inside. Okay? And then it was gotcha. All right, so but this is not April Fool's and it's not a game. Gotcha was coming up because that's part of the nursery rhyme, but it's also was showing me got cha, and Spirit was asking me to look up cha. All right, so gotcha is got cha. So cha can be tea, it can be cha-cha-cha, it can be dance, it can be a Korean foot, which is actually 30.3 centimeters. It also means to come. Got to come. You might like that. It also means nigh, that show of power, N-I. It also means not, no, that's a show of power. It also means crying or weeping. And it said cardinal 6. It also means 6. Also means clipping of, cha, and also means who or whom. That, and finally, in Swahili, to fear. And to be afraid. Okay? Gotcha. Gotcha. To be afraid. To fear. So music and dancing. As before I get into this next thing, I'll make sure I get at what I have at the top of the page for you. Alright. So the top of the page, I was also getting to look up El Conquistador. It's actually a hotel in Puerto Rico that I stayed at before. But they knew I remember that, and there was a message they wanted to bring through for conquistador, because that has to do with conqueror, all right? And the El Conquistadors, you know, they were the Spanish conquerors, you know, coming to the United States, or whatever the situation is. They're the knights and soldiers and explorers of the Spanish and Portuguese Empire. So these are some more wounds that are coming up about these knights and their horses. Also, an example that came up is the expert divers that swim 7.9 meters down, which is 24 feet, 24 is the Queen of Wands, in order to pry open the oysters from the rocks, all right? So someone will go to great lengths to get that buried treasure. All right, you like how Spirit brings this together? And they're telling you it's the Queen of Wands that you must get there before she finds it. It's 24 feet down, and then she's perfectly willing to go down there and pry the oysters out from the rocks, right? But the message here from the online was about skulls of ancient pearl divers who they find they come with abnormal ear canal bone growth from having done this. This is how they identify them. This little blurb came up at 12/28/18, so it was very recent, from Kiona N. Smith, Kiona N. Smith. That was her comment there. So that's coming up. So there's more about Conquistador, or El Conquistador, by the way. Let me know in the comments. And I was just reminded to bring up the fact that you know, movie stars, because I was in El Conquistador for a meeting, and Michelle Pfeiffer was there. So of course she came into the restaurant when we were there, and it's, you know, it was a medical meeting, so the people there, you know, aren't that impressed by Michelle Pfeiffer coming in. Of course, she's a lovely person and she's a beautiful actress, but she came in and literally presented herself to the dining room. So it was kind of, you know, it was just very kind of weird. But there was a reason they wanted me to bring that up, and I'm bringing it up to you now. It was very cool. I mean, I was excited to see Michelle Pfeiffer, but just as a person-to-person thing, it was just really weird that she felt that she needed to present herself. And she was there with David Kelly as well. So, but also respecting the stars and their right to privacy, and to, you know, which, you know, you don't, because you want to get a picture of them or that kind of thing. It was not to judge anyone, but just recognize, you know, that they want to have their private time too, because they're in the public eye all the time. They're just people. All right, so, and also realize fear may come up for them too, because they don't know who you are. You know, somebody might want to hurt them. So actors learn how to detach from fear, because they have to in order to be actors. So in a way, that's a good way of learning that. Music and dancing and sound of the birds chirping were coming out, and the sound of music outside. So the sound of music. Do-si-do. Switch partners, yo. All right, that's literally coming up, okay? So after we're done with all that other information, we're back in the read. Music and dancing and the sound of birds chirping. The sound of music outside. Do-si-do. Switch partners, yo. Talking to the masculine. Use scissors to cut. Use magnet and coin to cut out, magnetize what you want, and manifest it. The divine masculines. Go get your girl and give it a whirl. Enough deliberating. Talk is cheap. Start the dance and take the leap. And then the underlying energy for the masculine was pride, right? Because pride is what keeps them from not doing those things. And the card underneath that was moderation. Pride 19, moderation was 14. So the sun and the angel. So it's telling the angel to stay at your 0 point in moderation and shine to your feminine and let go of your pride. And that was again at 12:46. So 46 comes up again. And then I was getting dreams can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Okay, so that was coming through. And then I was getting another line for that song, which is not the song's line, but rainbows are blue, transmuting fire and sparkling violet hue if you're young at heart. Sovereign Cinderella has the ants and butterflies and animals help her to create a peaceful environment that all can appreciate if young at heart. Right, so you see, remember in the cartoon for Cinderella where all of the animals are helping her get dressed or make her dress? That's the picture that's coming up. If you stay young at heart, that can be you too. Beautiful colors surround her, like the Kincaid Garden of Prayer. All right, and look how beautiful. And it was very sad because Kincaid, you know, passed away. I don't know much about it, but from what I understand, he was very depressed because people would poo-poo his work because it wasn't what some critics said what beauty was worth. Okay, so, and I loved Thomas Kincaid's stuff because the colors just make you feel alive, you know, when they pop off the painting, and it was just beautiful to feel. And for people who, you know, poo-pooed on him, you know, poo-poo on you, shame on you. Beautiful colors surround her, like Kincaid got his famous painting, The Garden of Prayer. And in the Garden of Prayer, if you look very closely, there's a path in the garden, and it leads to Jesus standing on the path there. Beautiful colors surround her, okay? So Maria The garden of prayer, Maria. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria. I just met a girl named Maria, who's Mary Magdalene. So this is the template for the Divine Feminine. The wand cannot be held down. It just changes direction like a homing device. The masculine cannot escape the magnetic call. There is no stopping creation of a divine designated driver There's no stopping creation of a divine designated driver. Destination left open, blue eyes removed, because don't need to see. The masculine is now in their knowing, all blue, you see. He's all blue now. He's a Blu-ray. He doesn't need to use his blue eyes, okay? Not that all the masculines have blue eyes, okay? It's just to get the point across. The worst is over. 3-4, shut the door. Materialization does exist. Just cross your fingers and your toes and tap your heels 3 times like twinkle toes. X or I, there's no between. It's your choice. Time for takeoff. Okay, so it's your choice. Choose that your X gets everything she wants, or I get everything I want. Whose life are you living, hers or yours? Use your stinger energy for blast off. Supercharged with Jupiter's negative aspect, or the moon is in its detriment. I spy blue eyes, and I smell the blood of an Englishman. On awards night. I don't know what the awards are, if there's any awards going on right now, but maybe someone whose English is actually going to be the winner. But here it is. I spy blue eyes, and I smell the blood of an Englishman on awards night. Teal or rust. Just make a choice, Divine Masculine. You can't get to the next choice unless you make this one. In this game, you cannot pass if you don't know the answer. You must choose and hope the next question is easier. There's always a redirect. You cannot go wrong. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. No one knows what it's like to be the bad man behind blue eyes. The pain is over now. Synchronicity, harmonize beautifully, and all is one and right with the world, completed. Tiny dancer, sealed with a kiss, is the Divine Feminine, sealed within him. He is her protector. No escaping the connection of such beauty. So recently, what comes up here, oh, and by the way, all signs were represented in the read in the body. The ones that were upright were Pisces, Gemini. Leo was both directions, so it could be 2 Leos, or they're expressing both the negative and the positive. Cancer, I wasn't sure about the direction, but Aries was reversed, Sagittarius reversed, Aquarius upright, Virgo both upright and reversed. It could be 2 separate Virgos or expressing both. Libra was upright, Taurus reversed, Capricorn upright, Scorpio reversed. So recently is here, alchemy by starting over in love, not settling at night, with perpetual invitation of gold light, opportunity to regain the gold coin that was lost from the boy. Now remember what all right, someone not speaking their truth because my voice is going. I told you my messages yesterday or the day before, where the masculine comes into this world with the gold coin. But he gave it up because too many women took care of him, so he lost his ability to be the man that he was born to be. And if he doesn't learn to love himself first on his own, after having that taken away from him, he never gains back his gold coin. So here it's coming back again. This is the way Spirit does it. They teach you one thing about the code on another day, and then they bring that code into another thing they're trying to tell you today that you never would have understood unless they taught you the first thing. This is the same for the choices the masculine needs to make. You can't get to this choice until you make this choice first. It doesn't matter which choice you make, you'll always get redirected to the right direction. So the perpetual invite of gold light, there's an opportunity here to regain his gold coin that was lost as a child. The foundation here for the masculine is the Trinity. Okay? The Trinity, also the number 13 came up here, which is complete transformation, transition, and change. Number 3 of the Queen of Wands. Well, Trinity is 3, all right? So you have that 3 in the third energy. The Queen of Wands dumped, you see, or overwhelmed by work or business, or being tied to 3, or just crying or purging just to get attention. So she's upright, but she's both the King of Pentacles, I told you I'd tell this, and the Queen of Wands. All the queens were coming up. I think I wrote it down. I'll tell you in a minute. I think all the queens were upright. Maybe one was reversed or not present. But the Queen of Wands is upright, but she has the Ace of Cups next to her. So she's either crying to get attention when she's not hurt. There's nothing wrong with her. She's upright. She's fine. But she's either feeling overwhelmed, or she's literally crying for attention or purging to get attention, because she's upright here. The same thing was coming up as that King of Pentacles. He's the only upright king in this read. But he's upright because he's a jerk, but he's authentic to himself, so it didn't matter. He feels justified in whatever he does because he's being authentic to who he truly is. So there's a lesson there. Even though you don't want to be like him, it's teaching you how to be your authentic self to get what you want. So nothing's wrong with the divine, the Queen of Wands here. And it's right next to deception, right? Someone's wearing a false mask here, next to the Queen of Wands upright with the Ace of Cups reversed. So she's crying or complaining at work, while looking the other way, offering her sunflower to the next worthy masked man who will use her or fight over her, as long as he'll do everything. Centrally here is the Three of Cups coming together in joy now that the worst is over, and choosing a path of the world, in the world. No longer a scary place for the masculine. It's where his sealed divine feminine is. The King of Swords is showing his lower energy on purpose. His lower energy or his lower timeline, while fending off energies and attacks from end of war or post-war traumatic syndrome. The war is over, but still confusion and dead bodies on the fields that need to be cleaned up. All right, so the challenge being here is the King of Wands. And remember, all these guys are coming up as reversed. He may be looking like the shaman, but he may have a mask on too, because he come up reversed, or he could just be really exhausted, okay, or mad. The challenge here is the King of Wands shaman, drained from lifting up his divine feminine, or just from lifting up a karmic. He doesn't even have to be the divine masculine, okay? And are healing from illness or gossip or drinking or high energy connection that's sometimes too much for him. So even though this King of Wands, so let's say he's not the divine masculine, let's say he's just someone who's, you know, a more enlightened guy, right? So he likes alternative healing techniques and all that kind of stuff. But when he comes around the divine masculine, for example, he can get really stressed out because the masculine's a much higher vibration than he is. So as good as that energy is, there may be only so much he can take at a time. But he realizes that even though this energy exhausts him, but it also makes him happy when he's in it. So it can be the masculine as well, okay? Realizing his own energies and his feminine energies. So the sovereign is coming up unhappy. The King of Wands is sacrificing for the family. There's a sovereign coming up unhappy, and this could be a kid as well, like a teen or 20s. The King of Wands is sacrificing for the family, you know, for the greater good. That was the template, that it's always, you know, you need to sacrifice for the greater good. So at home, with the karmic or kids, sacrificing his happiness so that the family could be happy, and or sacrificing his divine feminine so his family could be happy. So he has the right to sacrifice him, but now learning he may have that right, but he has no right to sacrifice the feminine's life for his family. Okay, that's not his choice. And realizing now there's no choice for him because they're connected. Leo and or ego and or children are out of control, energy vampires, partying and gossiping and spending and bragging like nobody's business. There may be a karmic that she feels it's your job to sacrifice for her, and that's it. There's no discussion. After he just takes, right? Because that's that dynamic between the tease and the taker. If I have to play maid, cook, whore, then he must play warrior, competition, score. This is how things play out when not connected to higher self, to love. 3 partners at work the King of Cups, King of Wands, and the King of Swords, Divine Masculine, because he's seeing himself as the King of Swords here. But remember, they're all three reversed. And it was just 4, 4, 4, 4. Or they can be unconditional love, the Shaman, and the Divine Masculine in his truth, if he's showing himself upright at some point, but he's coming up basically as reversed King of Swords. He's been protecting his high energy and or his money by showing something else. So no one would want more from him or want to steal from him, thinking if he appears humble or low energy or low income, then he could lay low under the radar of expectation, accepting second prize, love, yet aroused or inspired by fantasy obsession of the King of Wands, Buttercup Yellow, Union Angel third energy between them. Not red, but yellow. The King of Wands, his karmic, expects from him. So again, I'm going to read that sentence. It was a little tricky. So, you know, you get the idea where there may be some masculines who have learned to stay under the radar. You know, so they've been limiting their own expansion in order to stay under the radar, so nobody will bother them, and no one will think they have money, so they won't try to steal from them. It's just kind of that kind of thing, which I totally get, because I can be that way as well. But he's always accepted second prize in order to stay under the radar. Yet now he's aroused and inspired by the fantasy obsession of the King of Wands, Buttercup Yellow, Union Angel, third energy between them. Okay, so this King of Wands could just represent the third energy. It doesn't even have to represent a masculine. Okay, but it's saying specifically not the red King of Wands shaman, but the Buttercup Yellow one, changing the misconception about yellow being cowardice, because yellow is your solar plexus, your confidence, and how the old templates controlled people by telling you if you're yellow, you're coward, when yellow is actually your confidence, right? And red is your security blanket, okay? The King of Wands, the red is the King of Wands that the karmic expects him to be, because she doesn't want to do anything for herself. He has to sacrifice for her. So now crowning is work with the Leo enemy, okay? The enemy doesn't have to be anything big. It could just be the karmic, right, who's being difficult, and vice versa. Now crowning is at work is Leo enemy. He has to keep an eye on until she or he is out the door, and he gets out the door to the Queen of Pentacles lover now that the worst is over, and him being in need of attention or feeling like a failure, maybe working with crystals and it's not working, or his work proposed was rejected by the people he works with or his partners, or partners refusing to work and help out. So specifically his karmic partner is refusing to work or help him out, being stubborn, especially at night and the full moon, or a Cancer person, second prize, who drinks, the King of Swords being watched at work, and or has third party fantasy, or someone at work watching him for wrongdoing, because people now may be suspecting him because of gossip, or getting called out on a prior arrest, rehab, or mental hospitalization. There can be an employee who lied on their paperwork and is now being called out for lying, or it could be the masculine as well, or trying to get him in trouble. The karmic may be trying to get the masculine in trouble with arrest, rehab, or hospitalization, or about secret sex practices, trying to solicit a confession or catch them in the act with their pants down, or catching him with his twin, right, behind the Emperor's back after dropping the burdens. So something behind the Emperor's back can be literally behind a father or boss's back. The masculine doesn't want him to know that he's got his twin, or the Emperor could be the masculine, and other people are doing this stuff behind his back, trying to sneak around and find out information that he hasn't told. Or someone may talk to the Divine Feminine behind the Emperor's back, or the Divine Masculine, in order to solicit a confession from her, or to allow her to drop her burdens, because his friend now wants to bring them together. So they could be positive and negative. So if someone, if a karmic comes to you for a feminine, you don't need to tell her anything. It's between you and him, and their thing is between her and him. It has nothing to do with you, especially if you've never had a physical relationship with your masculine. So you don't need to, unless you know her and you want to talk to them, there's no controlling you. But if someone's coming to you to act like your friend, to get information, to take the masculine down, that may be what they're doing, is what's coming up here. Also, though, that it could be good, and it could be a friend of the masculine's coming to get you, to tell you that he loves you, or that that everything's good, and they want to help bring you guys back together, that kind of thing. So soon for the masculine is the diamond in the rough. The Knight of Cups offers love and expression of feelings, rising up as the magician with magical DNA strand. The Knight of Pentacles offers help to move the divine masculine forward, so maybe a friend, like I said, to the wounded warrior, Queen of Pentacles, the feminine, for dreams and healing. The divine masculine is the King of Swords. In a slowdown with the King of Wands reversed, who may be difficult or just really exhausted. So the King of Wands reversed could be a pissed off dude, so he could be mad. Or that could just be him as well. All three kings could be expressions of the masculine, where he's really tired at home after work, because he's dealing with all this crap at work, and exhausted at home after not getting along at work, leaving work, or a third party through work, heartbreak and separation, like beating his head on the wall, but not a dead horse. And then also, keep an open mind came up for the masculine, as well as to pay attention to the red flags. So red flags is coming up as the difference between the red and the yellow. Also the red horse that came up, so emphasizing the horse, and just paying attention to your signs and synchronicities, your guidance. Stay optimistic about your love life came up for the masculine, as well as express your love. So before I get to the next one, the queens are here. So the Queen of Pentacles was very upright. There's a lot of positive energy for the Queen of Pentacles. And really the only ones that were substantially represented here were the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands reversed by the clarifiers. So even though there were three kings in the main read, there is an emphasis on these three, which can absolutely represent the masculine as karmic and as feminine. But the Queen of Wands, like I said, is coming up as upright, but that doesn't mean she's a nice person. It's just she's authentic to who she is. But the King of Wands is coming up as reverse, so that could be the masculine, any which sign he is, okay? The Emperor is coming up in this read as upright, but the Empress is reversed, and so is the Hierophant. The High Priestess is upright. So the Emperor and the High Priestess are upright. The Empress and the Hierophant are reversed. The King of Pentacles could be with a third party. Like I said, that his third party could be that Sag female, like a father's new girlfriend or wife. Sagittarius female reversed. And also the King of Cups could be a water sign male, who he's also reversed. The Queen of Cups was upright, the Queen of Swords was upright, but they really weren't represented in the read. King of Pentacles upright, but like I said, all the rest of the kings were reversed. So around the divine masculine, so this is the masculine and how he's seen, all right? He's the King of Swords. But in the clarifiers, he's coming up reversed. So he could definitely be reflecting both parts of himself, being his truth and his non-truth, but that's the way it was coming up. Around the divine masculine, or how he's seen, is balance, sharing, equitable distribution of money and or property between the past and the present, feeling he owes punitive damages to his divine feminine and or kids for a negative past, and having to hold back her passions, and that he needed to hold back his passions but didn't, and when she is single and being treated like a one-night stand. So this was coming up as the masculine wanting to make restitution. Okay, it was definitely coming up as to the sovereign and or kids. Clear blocks about rest and relaxation and meditation, when healing and dreaming and grieving, in lack, fighting, all right? It's okay to rest and be still for the masculine. You know, you may need rest after competing, or immature conversations, or someone being cold when you offered love, okay? You need those timeouts to be still. Just because someone is still does not mean they are depressed, in lack, conflicted, immature, or lazy. For the masculine, spiritual partnership, like we said in the beginning, change and synchronicities and completion were the energies for him. His wish comes true through allowing transformation, complete change, and removing any hooks in you. All right, so you might want to just even meditate to see if you visualize any hooks anywhere in your body and remove them through your intention. The Divine Feminine is the Holy Grail, the connection through your crown to higher self and your heart connection to theirs. The Emperor sees his children and is now thinking about him and his Divine Feminine in union as angels with third energy together. Now he can see you within him, transformed together. The High Priestess and Justice, fools in love, children connected by higher self, recovering from lack of inspiration and temper tantrums. So you may still, if they have kids, they may be dealing with that, or just their own inner child, right? And it's all because of not choosing, whether it's his vacillation or the kids. And if he's a vacillator, his kids probably learn that from him. But it's learning now, it doesn't matter which choice you make, just make the choice so they can get on to the next. In the aftermath of over-isolating, so this is that what he needs to clear. Any blocks about resting, right? Deep contemplation, meditation, and breaks at the beach. In the aftermath of over-isolation and coming out as the devil or just the Capricorn, so the devil is just codependencies and addictions, whatever it is, he's coming out on top and waving hello, happily chained to each other once past the aftermath crap. So the cards end up like this, with the Six of Cups and the Higher Self cards, okay? That's the end of the read. Really beautiful energy of, this is etheric connection, okay? Knowing that your inner children are connected, as well as looking at your children and knowing that they can be connected to their higher selves. But it's also the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. And remember, it's coming up as the Divine Feminine is the Holy Grail, because the daughter is born into having that gold coin, that Christ light energy, but also she's born into the pink, the high heart, the compassion. The connection through your crown to higher self, for you and your feminine, and your heart to theirs. The Emperor sees his children and thinks about him and his Divine Feminine in union as angels with the third energy together. Now we can actually see you in the physical with him, transformed. High Priestess and Justice, fools in love, children connected by higher self, recovering from lack of inspiration and tantrums due to not choosing or vacillating. In the aftermath of over-isolation, coming out as that Capricorn, waving hello. Happily chained to each other once past all the aftermath cleanup, right? The dead horses on the field. So don't forget about your animals and having compassion for them as well, all right? Loving them and nurturing them back to health when they need it, giving them attention, all right? And if you really love them, just show them that respect as well. So the King of Cups workplace with the King of Swords, sharing and or distributing, alchemizing three parties, the challenge being the King of Wands shaman with a new life of meditation, working with crystals and crystal children and higher self and twin, so it could be the twin or it could be someone the masculine works with who's also like that but not a twin. Or three could be the King of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands, where the masculine with his karmic in a partnership with the King of Cups, where the King of Wands leaves to become the King of Swords because that's his natural self, without them to do things his own way, or just unconditional love of self to change to their authentic self, the Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine, and their third energy. And at 2:10 right there, as I was finishing that last sentence, a bird started chirping over and over again saying, woo woo, woo woo. So again, there's that cat call, right? Between the T's and the taker, taker, taker. And it was so funny because it was just going over and over and over again, but also is kind of a cute little symbol of the Divine Masculine, you know, waving to you. Okay? All right, so that was a lot. That was a mouthful. So now I'm going to pull your cards for you. Let's see what we have. So before I forget, I'm going to show you the pictures. Is that the last one? All right. All right, so these cards these three cards dropped out in the shuffle. Okay, so that's the Six of Wands, the Two of Wands, and the Fool card, the Starseed. This is the basic read. Okay. I did show you all those cards today, and then here's the full read, and I'm going to put this aside a little bit so I can see better, hopefully. You can see them well. Alright, so let's get into the oracle cards, so we don't take too long here. Alright, so we have the Ascension deck, it's 60. So you can note that down, or I will note that down. 60, right at 60 minutes is when we started the oracle cards. Take a deep breath, you guys. I'm actually going to take a drink. Sorry, I'm so thirsty from running. It's not always fun listening to someone else gulp. Okay. Alright, so take your deep breath. Clear and align. Let's fill the empty spaces with only beautiful, organic, love and light, diamond light. Let's armor us all with our love. I'm going to call in the Marys today, because that was very prevalent. Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, which represents all the divine feminines, that you are all Mary Magdalene, including myself. So what is the energy here for February, it's April 2nd, 2019. April 2nd, 2019. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? For Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. And these are just a number. Okay. So the bottom of the deck is 44, El Moria. Okay, so again, it's about mastering, grounding and integrating, coming back to 0 point and staying balanced, okay? Everything in moderation. The only one I'm going to read for you is Commander Ashtar, because it came up alone. I'll read that to you. As 39, the Knight of Cups, so that's the offer of love. Then we had 3 cards came up. That was Lady Portia, Sirius, and Fire. I'll show them each to you in case you want to read them yourself. Lady Portia is 32. Okay, 32 is the 6 of Wands. It's the Journey card, the guy on the horse. 17 is Sirius, the star. So hopefully you can read that. And then the third one came up there was Fire, which is 13, which is complete transformation, transition. Okay. Okay. So we had 1 and 3, and then I had to count the last stack. So the one I'm reading is from Mary Magdalene, because I said Mother Mary first. Mother Mary sent out the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, this is 16 cards here. This is Tower energy. But then we have, there's 4 more, so it comes up to the Tower and 20. So it's definitely about judgment. It's like the masculine, the Tower, the epiphany of his judging himself and wanting to make restitution to the divine feminine is the energy I'm getting here. But naturally, not because he's forced. So Commander Ashtar says, Commander Ashtar is in charge of the intergalactic fleet, spaceships that patrol and protect this universe. His mothership enters Earth through Machu Picchu, the two-way interdimensional portal that he oversees. Okay? So we're still in the shadow of Mercury retrograde, so it's just a little bit of that. Commander Ashtar is connecting with you through this card and inviting you to view the planets, stars, and galaxies with cosmic eyes. Breathe in the subtle anatomy of wisdom of the stellar world and allow it to affect your chakra system and ignite your consciousness. And I'm still getting a lisp, so somebody might have a lisp and they're self-conscious about it, so they're being told not to be. It's part of who you are and it's part of your charm. You are blessed, for this is a card of expanded enlightenment and a call to intergalactic service. The affirmation is, I connect with Commander Ashtar to serve the universe. Yeah. So breathe it all in, especially, you know, take it all in when you're outside. Really appreciate the nature around you. It was just 444. And the 3, is there anything else I need to know from Sirius and Lady Portia and Fire? I'm getting 3, 4, shut the door again. Okay, so this is for the masculine, to shut the door. And just for the feminines, to make sure you know you have your power from Sirius with Lady Portia and Saint Germain. Make sure you transmute with the violet flame, and we have fire, right? So it's about use your violet fire if you need to. Transmute those energies. Okay. And Almoria is 44, so it's again mastering. And that is the first ray. The Manu, the perfected man on whom the new root race of humanity with its 12 strands of connected and active DNA will be based. Alright, so in drawing this card, you're being asked to lead by example, employing self-discipline, strength, and integrity of an ascended master. You're reminded to use your power for the highest good. I stand in my power. So I was guided to say that to you for the underlying energy. But it's also about the DNA and the baldness. That there's, you know, the new DNA, the masculines will no longer experience baldness. Alright, so now we have the past life deck here. Take another deep breath. Oh, I wanted to, before I forget this as well, move this here. When I did the, I've always had issues with my hips being off, so realize that when you do correct your structure, that it may throw you off, so you may experience some soreness or some pain issues because of the change back to the proper position. So it takes, you know, it takes some time to allow that correction to stick. So in releasing my psoas muscle, my hips are like really at even now, but it caused me, when I first went out to run today, I was getting like, you know, not a fun pain in my left leg, but I gently kind of just jogged lightly into it, and then I was fine after my run. But you know, sometimes you just need to keep adjusting until it's corrected. But be aware of some of those pains are just temporary pains, and you're releasing purges. Okay, it's stuff coming out of your body. So again, you're taking your deep breath. It is April 2nd, 2019. And we're asking this of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. For everyone watching, in the best and highest good of all who's concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? A lot coming in. Okay. There's a bunch to count. The bottom is trees. Just let the breakthroughs happen. Okay, the sun through the trees. I'm also seeing that the when the sun comes through the trees, you allow it's you know, refractory light. It's the beauty, you know, breaking things into little pieces. You know, you might think that as broken, and I can't talk, right? So it's a lisp again. You might see that as broken, but it's not. It's the rainbow that comes out of those broken pieces, or those reflections, okay? So that was the energy I was being guided to bring through on that. And just to appreciate the sun and nature, that masculine energy that always shines through, that you can always count on to be there. The strong tree, the trunk of the tree that holds the family, right? The security, and that bright spirit that holds everything together. So to appreciate the masculine within you and your masculine for all of that. Also, we have from Mother Mary, scribe or writer and father. So here we have them both upright. Okay. So again, having a strong connection with your father, whether you're a boy or a girl, and to make sure that you divine masculines be a presence in your children's lives, not just the moneymaker, but actually a friend, and have a strong bond with them. And to write to them, especially your little girls, because little girls love to get letters, right? So how special is that letter that your father wrote to you? Or a bracelet, and I was just being reminded from my father, or the bracelet that you gave her, or a special candle, just something simple. And it is so true, even from my son, because my son gave me something little from like the store at the elementary school, you know, when they had to bring something home for mom. And to this day, it's one of my favorite gifts. And it's just a cheap little vase, but it's really pretty, and I love it. And it was from him. So it doesn't need to be something, you know, huge or expensive to be special. And especially the words, you know, a very special letter, you know, you can't replace that. So remember that, fathers. How much your daughters will treasure that, and your sons. And don't forget to give that energy to your sons, because a lot of times the fathers treat the sons more harshly than the daughters, because that was the old template. But you need to treat your children all with that same love and gentle kindness. So then we have these two cards, Wars and Battles and the Farm reversed. And it was just 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now it's 21 and 22. So it's all about the Magician, embodiment, and justice, and completion, and the Fool, taking that leap of faith, having faith and trust. And so here we have the cards with the farm and the battlefields, all right? So we brought up a lot of stuff about the horses dying on the battlefields in the Civil War. So here we have that Civil War, and the horses upside down and dead. So it's very clear to me that she's making me want to cry. Mary Magdalene's cause for the horses. It's saying, just like your children, how special they are. Show them in a way they can understand. How much you appreciate what they did for you. Even if they did get hurt, it's okay. That was their purpose, you know, just like a man may feel honored to have died for you, you know, or gotten hurt for you. And a lot don't, you know, because they spend their lives in grief, you know, because of their injuries. But it's just saying, you know, to give the respect to your animals that they deserve, the love that they deserve. They're so loving unconditionally to you. And just especially to remember all this, because people don't ever think about that in wars. How many horses were killed and left for dead on the field who weren't dead, and who were suffering, and weren't shown kindness or love or a burial, or if they break their leg and they get shot, you know, and they know they get shot by the person who loves them, and you think that's a wonderful thing to die by, looking into the eyes of the person who shoots you. And now we're bringing some comic relief back to the joke. How many soldiers does it take to put a tripod for the camera together? This picture is so perfect of it. How many soldiers does it take to put a tripod together? That's what it looks like to me. All right. So let's see how many. We have 2 and 2 here, and then let's see how many other cards came out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 cards is the Hermit, the Wise One, the Virgo. 9, 2, 2, and 9 is 13. Okay, so that's definitely allowing the change and transformation. 9 and 13 are both ending cards, and then we have 24 come up too. They're all completions. It's done. To allow the change, let the sun that shine through. The rain. And even though there's lots of broken pieces from the end of the war, don't worry about it. Just move forward, and it'll all take care of itself naturally. 2 and 2, so 2 high priestesses, and then the 9 of the Hermit. Well, number one, I'm getting that I'm not getting two women. I'm getting, I mean, it can represent the karmic and the feminine, and the masculine is the hermit. But what I'm getting more is it's the two, you know, that the high priestess is both of you. You know, you're both with psychic abilities. And the hermit is about, you know, it's about being in isolation to learn those abilities and to connect with your higher self and be that collective consciousness, which is the wise one. Okay? So recognize both, and you both have divine masculine and divine feminine in you, right? 2 and 2. Okay? And then the 9 is the collective consciousness. All right, so now we have the journey of love. Let's see what the message is today from the Marys. Feel the anticipation of all beautiful love and light. Right? Yeah. So April 2nd, 2019, for everyone watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? This is to Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, please. What is your advice? What is your guidance? Just 2 cards. The bottom is Heart of God, number 9. So it comes up again for the collective consciousness, the Heart of God. All right, so it's reiterating and confirming that. And it's just 11624. So again, it's saying the Magician embodiment, the Tower, and the 24 completion. Okay? So the karmic completion with the Tower, then there's cleanup, you know, that's the end of the war. Then there's going to be cleanup, but just allow it to all happen naturally. Under the Heart of God is the Temple, which is the 59 of that 5 of Swords, brain wars, right? It's fear. Love, fear. Okay? Opposite. Can't be in love if you're in fear. So stay at that middle point. You're human. We all are. We're always going to be human. So it's just about staying to the middle as much as you can. Okay. So we have Soft that came out as 11712. That's the Magician, the Star, and the Hangman in Wisdom. It's also about that right knee block, like I was telling you, like when you jog. Don't hurt yourself, but also recognize that you need to be patient with injuries. Sometimes it's an injury and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just a purge or a release. So just to take your time to break things in to see how they go. So if Soft is 47 is the 7 of Cups, and the bride offers herself, number 43. 43 is that 3 of Cups, which is in the middle, I can't speak. And I keep lisping, which I don't know why I am. I don't know if it's because something's bothering me in my mouth, but so 43 and 47, the 7 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups and the 3 of Cups is 73 or 37, which is the King of Cups, which is unconditional love, and then the 73 is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 5 of Pentacles, right? 73. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So 73 is the 5 of Pentacles, because the 5 of Pentacles is destitution, basically being left out, is abandonment issues, is the opposite of unconditional love, because you're never alone. Okay, so it's just showing you the reflection of that. The bride offers herself and soft. So it's calling it's saying for the masculine to be soft, because the bride is offering herself, and it's not easy for her. She's been through a lot. She's been through a battle herself, right? A bloody battle. And it's amazing that she's come out alive. The masculine needs to be soft with her. Treat her like your pearl, the pearl that she is. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see, we'll read both of them, 43 and 47. It's taken long, but you don't have to watch the rest if you don't want. Alright, 43 is the bride offers herself. There's a sacred offering taking place, an offering of the divine feminine. She is offering herself to the mystery unfolding. This may manifest in a physical way, in that a woman of great feminine wisdom is offering herself to you in friendship, love, spiritual companionship, or in service of some way. This may manifest in a spiritual gift from the Divine Mother in the form of a life circumstance or situation, whether it's immediately recognized as a gift or not. To accept this offering as a bridegroom accepting his bride with love, reverence, and respect will bring good fortune. This oracle offers you a message. Accept what is being offered now, whether through challenge or an easing of the way forward. There is a gift of grace from the Divine Feminine reaching for you now. Allow her in and be blessed. This oracle also heralds a time of importance in a relationship. You have been revealing yourself and not being afraid of who and what you are, sharing yourself in willingness to connect. Your vulnerability and beauty is acknowledged and will attract the response you need at the perfect time in the perfect way. Every bride shall have her bridegroom. So it's also referencing the knee injury to the relationship. You know, when things are broken, to just allow it, break it back in naturally, you know, a little bit at a time. How careful we must be close. How fragile we must feel. How sad not to be when someone is real. To say approach with caution when we already know that inside there's a likeness and experience goes slow. Okay, so just take it a step at a time. And soft says, a sanctuary bathed in soft light. Your heart is receptive, inviting, and gentle. It brings strength to the weary, comfort to the lonely, and healing to the wounded. It is a magnet for all that is needed, for you, your beloveds, your world. Don't imagine you must always be the fighter, going against the part of your nature that longs for harmony and peace. This is your time to be soft, to surrender, masculines, to let the subtle waves of the heart invite love in and to receive. In doing so, you will give so much. This oracle brings you a message of peace. Surrender now and be soft, even just for this moment of quiet reflection. You have perhaps been working too hard at growing and living. Take some moments to replenish and allow the divine to help you, dear one. Be soft so you are receptive to the divine. It is when we let go that we truly perceive the obstacles that lie between us and oneness with the divine lover. Let go and perceive that the divine lover is already awakening in your heart. And the poem reads, you are the softness he desires. You help light his way. You nurture all that he holds dear through tempest clouds dismay. And in the quiet of the storm, his gentleness comes through, and in the shelter of his arms, his heart is there for you. Okay, so also for the feminine to recognize that he has always been there for you. He was protecting you and guiding you just as much as you were protecting and guiding him. Okay. Okay, guys, make sure you drink your water and get your rest, and just love yourself first, and then just be love in general all the time. Okay, you can't do it wrong. It's just you to be authentically you. Rise and be loved, guys. Bye.